va perdre notre maison?
Mais non, ma chérie, on va rien perdre du tout. Demain, c'est la rentrée, va te coucher.
C'était il y a 3 jours, la rentrée.
Je peux le voir.
Il a un pied beau.
Et l'autre, il est pas beau.
Hello and welcome to our weekly film show where we're focusing on the latest in French cinema, from nostalgic family stories to an explosive plotline in the Caribbean. And for all that, we're joined by critic Perrine Quennesson. Hi, Perrine.
Hi, Olivia.
So we're starting off with a sweet family dramedy, let's call it. It's based on a true story. It's called My Mother, God and Sylvie Vartan. It's directed by Ken Scott, who also brought us that quirky movie Starbuck.
Yeah, I remember back in 2011, Starbuck told a wide story, I would say, and true story, of a guy who found out that his sperm donation made him the father of more than 500 kids,
Wow.
which is a lot. Seems like director Ken Scott has a thing for true stories, because this time with My Mother, God and Sylvie Vartan, what a title, is adapting the life of Roland Perez, a man with an unusual story and an even more unusual mom. I think let's take a look to the trailer.
Un Britannique a très justement écrit que puisque Dieu ne pouvait être partout,
Est-ce que vous pouvez prévenir mon mari que je pars accoucher?
Pars à l'hôpital.
il a donc dû inventer les mères.
Je peux le voir.
Il a un pied beau.
Et l'autre, il est pas beau.
C'est une malformation.
So from what I can gather, this is mostly a love story, a mother's love for her son.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, the movie, like the book it's based on, and we just heard it in the trailer, uses a Yiddish proverb that says, God couldn't be everywhere, that's why he invented mothers.
Probably true.
Which is true. My Mother, God and Sylvie Vartan is the story of a love that becomes a fight, a mom who would do anything to achieve a miracle to help her child walk despite his birth defect. Of course, this overflowing love sometimes borders smothering, especially in the second part of the movie where Roland becomes an adult. But the movie is first a love letter to that kind of motherhood that moves mountains. And Leïla Bekhti, we just saw in the trailer, who plays the mom, gives a very, very accurate and endearing performance.
Okay, so what about Sylvie Vartan of the title?
Since Roland is confined to his home because of his disability and often in front of the TV, he develops a fascination with the French singer. And she's not just anyone, Sylvie Vartan. Back in the 1960s, when part of the movie takes place, she was a phenomenon, a pioneer of French yeye music, which is kind of a mix of rock and roll and French pop sensibilities.
It's true that she was an icon. Well, I think the best thing to do is just to listen to Sylvie Vartan. Here's her singing in 1962.
Tu n'as plus ce regard que j'aimais, et non plus cette voix qui chantait. Allez savoir pourquoi, allez savoir comment.
Oh, she's cute. But at that time, yeah, she represented modernity, glamour, and a kind of a rebellious spirit that really looks like the mother in the movie, because she's all ready to break all the rules, and she does. She's been, Sylvie Vartan, she's been living in the US for years now, but even now she's still an icon in France. And she's not just in the title of the movie, she's playing in the movie.
Okay, so worth it just for the cameo then, perhaps. Well, from one mum to another, we're going to Reine, mère, which translates to Queen Mother, this film by the Franco-Tunisian director Manel Labidi, which this time takes us to France in the early 1990s.
Yeah, and it follows a Tunisian-Algerian family living in France in the early 1990s, who discovered that the landlord wants his apartment back. And for the mother, Amel, that's the final straw. She has enough, and this is where she realized all the violence of social demotion and prejudices related to her status as an African immigrant. It hit her in the face. That's really hard for her. And at the same time, their eldest daughter, Mona, becomes imaginary friend, with Charles Martel, a mythological figure in French history. I think you should just watch the trailer. It makes it clearer.
On va perdre notre maison?
Mais non, ma chérie, on va rien perdre du tout. Demain, c'est la rentrée, va te coucher.
C'était il y a 3 jours, la rentrée.
Et c'est en 732 que Charles Martel arrêta les Arabes.
J'ai pas compris.
Qui t'a poursuivi?
Mouna a cru qu'elle était poursuivie par Charles Martel.
Tu dois pas aller souvent en cours de PS, toi, hein? T'es parti avant moi, je suis arrivé avant toi.
C'est celui qui arrêta les
en 732.
Pardon.
Les...
So it looks pretty funny, and also the family. They seem very lovable in their relationship.
Yeah, indeed, and that's actually where the movie really succeeds, because you really believe in this family, yeah, with the brilliant singer-turned-actor Camélia Jordana and Sofia Zermani as the parents. They are very cute. And Leïla Bekhti, who also directed Arab Blues with Golshifteh Farahani a few years ago, very intelligently in this movie question how stereotypes define people's identity and proposes to break free from them, which is great. And the character of Amel, played by Camélia Jordana, we just saw her, in a balancing act, combine light comedy and seriousness. And with this tone, she succeeds to tell the story of the 1990s France, from the perspective of an immigrant family, which is actually very refreshing.
The production design does look very evocative as well. So there's this fantastical element in the film as well. Explain.
Yeah, that's a real achievement of the movie. The couple's eldest daughter, Mouna, is traumatized, as we just saw in the trailer. She's traumatized by a history lesson about Charles Martel, who supposedly drove the Arab out of France, disturbed by this expression, which is as much about rejection as it is about violence. She starts seeing the famous Charles Martel in the form of Damien Bonnard, that we just saw in the movie Block Pass we talked last month. And through this imaginary friend story, the movie shows how history with a capital H is also a matter of political and ideological construction.
Sounds fascinating, actually. Well, we're leaving mainland France now and heading to Guadeloupe, where the Soufrière volcano is on the brink of erupting, and this volcanic explosion is the focus of Cyprien Vial's Magma.
Yeah, after the success of Werner Herzog's he has a very hard name to pronounce. Werner Herzog's recent The Fire Within, a Requiem for Katia and Maurice Kraft, and the Netflix series La Palma, it seems like volcanoes are making a comeback.
Yeah, volcanoes are huge right now, yeah.
Yeah, they're huge, volcanoes. Volcanoes are huge right now. So in Magma, we follow Katia, an experienced volcanologist, as she's about to leave Guadeloupe, where she's been stationed for 10 years. That's when Soufrière, the local volcano, shows sign of awakening that may be dangerous for the population.
Okay, well, it sounds pretty tense. Let's take a look.
Nous avons observé la naissance d'une grosse fumerole qui a provoqué une explosion phréatique modeste. On peut dire à l'heure actuelle qu'on est hors de danger.
Ça va? Bagaille?
So, depicting a volcanic explosion on the big screen, pretty ambitious. Should we expect some big special effects here, like in the previous films, Dante's Peak or Volcano?
No. It's more about reflection than spectacle.
Okay.
The director Cyprien Vial was inspired by the large-scale evacuation of 1976 in Guadeloupe, following the volcano's awakening at that time. And it's an evacuation that was very, very traumatizing for the population. Here, through the character of Katia and her trainee Amy, the movie highlights the disagreement between political and scientific voices, each seem locked into their own logic. The film shows, on one hand, the need for the authorities to protect the population, and on the other hand, the same locals who are having a lack of trust to these authorities. All this happening while nature has its own agenda that obviously we cannot predict. So this resonates actually very strongly at a time when scientific warnings about climate change are met with political inaction, or worse, when we think about Trump withdrawing government support for research that mention climate.
Yeah, that sounds very timely, actually,
yeah.
the dichotomy between science and politics. Well, finally, Perrine, you're taking us to see the very beginnings of cinema with Lumière, l'aventure continue. We can translate that to Lumière, the adventure lives on. It's presented by one of the best-known names in the French movie industry, Thierry Frémaux, no less.
Nonetheless, yeah, because indeed it's not just anyone. Thierry Frémaux, since he has been the director of the Cannes Film Festival for 18 years, and he also heads the Lumière Institute in Lyon, which dedicated his work to the distribution and preservation of film heritage. And this institute is located in the home it's a big house, like a huge house, of the Lumière brothers who invented cinema.
Of course, and Thierry Frémaux is from Lyon himself
Exactly.
as well. So what does Lumière, L'Aventure Continue offer viewers?
Yeah, with this documentary, Thierry Frémaux follows up his 2016 collection of Lumière brothers film. In Lumière, L'Aventure Continue, so our adventure lives on, it's better in English. He provides the voiceover and shows us 120 works from the Lumière brothers, 130 years to the day after after their first film. So that's beautiful to watch, and it's very moving, to be honest, to see the reaction of the passers-by when they are watching this huge camera. It's very new for the time, and also we discovered that the cinematographic language, it was already there. The shots, the tracking shots, the drama, the comedy, the actors playing, it's all there. So watching Lumière, L'Aventure Continue is like looking at the past that already understood everything about our presence. So it's actually very beautiful and surprisingly modern.
Okay, it sounds like the movie camera there functions as a sort of time machine for
Exactly.
the future.
It's very weird, you see Paris at all time. That's beautiful.
Wow. Thank you so much for the roundup this week, Perrine. We'll leave you with a look at that compendium of early cinema, courtesy of the Lumière brothers and Thierry Frémaux. Do check in with us here next time on Arts 24 for more movies, arts and culture. There's more news coming up on France 24 just after this.
Il y a 130 ans, les frères Lumière inventaient le cinématographe. Tout était déjà là. La comédie, le drame, le jeu des acteurs et le visage des enfants, les travelling en bateau et les panoramas en tramway. Le cinéma est là d'emblée, tel qu'on le connaîtra toujours.